Hello Augies worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, and welcome to another episode of Ask Dave. Today we're going to model the MFJ 1846 Hex Beam and see how well it performs in theory in the EZNEC Plus software. The antenna was originally designed after one that was put together by G3TXQ. Okay, and I looked that up on the website, and he has a section, quite a section, on the design of this antenna, and which MFJ has followed pretty closely. G3TXQ has put a model up there, and let's take a look at it and see what the predicted performance. First, I want to just show you a picture of the antenna and how the thing's kind of put together and where it failed. It broke during an aborted and ill-fated attempt to raise it. I've changed a lot of things now. I've come up with the workaround for the broken part. I ordered the broken part. You can order any part from MFJ. Unfortunately, it immediately went to back order, so I'm going to go ahead with the workaround until I get the new parts. So let's take a look. Let's dive into the modeling, and after that, we'll see what we have. Okay, so here's the antenna on the assembly stand. I've got it right here. It can rotate around. The feed point is right down here, and there's a transmission line that goes up here the length of the antenna, and we start with the 6 meter, 10 meter, 12 meter, 15 meter, 17 meter, and 20 meter. Up here at the top we've got spacer cords that keep the ends pulled up. Now the way these wires go is over here to the spreader element. Then from there are these insulators. Let me get up closer. Here's some insulators right here that are pre-made to the right length. And then what we're talking about over here is the reflector element. Now this thing is broken. I managed to break off. See how this spreader arm comes in here? Well, it's supposed to come in here too, but that part is broken off. So I have a fix for that, and I will implement that. In the meantime, here's the mast I'm going to put it on. That is a 20-foot long piece of Schedule 40 pipe with a 1.5 inch inner diameter, and I got the heavier aluminum, and it's all one piece, 20 feet long, so that it would hold up the higher weight. And what we have down here is a base for it. Note the bolts. We can leave the top bolt in, take the bottom bolt out, and then it will swing up. So we put this on the ground, and with these 3-foot stakes that we have, connect that to the ground, and then the element folds down. We can put the antenna on it and then lift it up and get the guys in tight. So that is the plan as soon as I get the antenna fixed. Let's look at the overall model in EZNEC for the thing. You can recognize the pieces here. If I put this up here, like this, there. Okay, you can see the driven elements all follow this spreader out until they get to their turn point, and they come over here some distance away from the reflectors. These are the reflectors, so you can think of this as a kind of an M shape, and these as a sort of a U shape. Okay, and as we look at this antenna, you can see that the smaller loops are on the bottom of the antenna. Now those that pink line right there is the current that's in this top element here, and it just shows that it's at most right here in the middle where you would expect it to be, and it is also highest out here in the reflector. Okay, so each driven element is on the same level with its reflector. Now there's not 6 meters on here. We've got 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. So 5 bands right here. Now we can look at various things about this. What I want to do is look at the SWR first for each of the 5 bands that's modeled here, and the elevation and azimuth patterns for each of them. We're looking at the radiation pattern of this antenna on 20 meters. Note that there's no weird side lobes or back lobes. There is a back lobe and a side lobe. You can see them here, but they're very smooth. I've never seen an antenna with such a smooth pattern. Note that the radiation does tend to go up. We're going to find that the peak is somewhat right in here. All right, let's take a look at some charts here. This is from the advertisement on MFJ's website, the 1846 Hex Beam. It says the MFJ 1846 uses an updated G3TXQ element configuration. This is the second element configuration on the G3TXQ website. Talks about lots of wonderful things here. Let's see what the model says about this. Again, the model comes from G3TXQ's website, not from the MFJ website. So here's 20 meter SWR. It's below 2 to 1 across the band. 17 meter is very low. 15 meters is also very low across the entire band. 12 meters is very low. It's lower than 2 to 1. It's not less than 1.5 to 1. If you wanted to, you could use the built-in antenna tuner to touch that up. 10 meters is a very wide band, 28 to 29.7. The parts that are commonly used, which are 28.3 to 28.5, is where you'll find a lot of SSB activity, and a little bit from 28.5 to 28.6. And the SWR for that section is excellent. Now let's look at some of the elevation and azimuth. Let's go back to 20 meters. We see that we have this nice rounded potato shape elevation pattern. The elevation pattern is high, like it would be for a dipole. Now we're at 20 feet, okay? The model is at 20 feet, and that is what I'm going to be erecting, a 20-foot mast. So we'll see how all of this comes out. So 20 meters optimum would be about 33 feet, but we don't have that in this case. If we look at the elevation pattern, the actual 3 dB down point on this thing gives the beam width of 97.6 degrees, okay? And notice 7.61 dBi max, that's the outer circle, 7.61 dBi. That's still over 5 dB or full S unit greater than a dipole. So that's pretty good. Here's 17 meters. Again, we've got the potato and same type of thing, same beam width on 17 meters. Let's look now. Now, this is interesting. On 15 meters, you start to see a little baby bump on the potato up on the top. The reason is because we're now above the optimum height of half wavelength for 15 meters, and that would be 7.5 meters or about 20 feet or so, and we see it starting to form another lobe. And we'll see this as we go up higher in frequency, because that is a sort of a virtually raising the antenna in terms of wavelengths of the tallness of it here. Okay, still that same azimuth pattern. Now here on 12 meters, we've got a pronounced baby bump. And if we were to keep going up in frequency, if the antenna went up in frequency, we'd see more and more of a baby bump until we had 2 lobes, one higher than the other. 12 meters still have that same azimuth pattern, over 90 degrees. Now here on 10 meters, a very pronounced baby bump, and it would be on 6 meters too, except this model does not cover 6 meters. So here's the 10 meters right there. So what we've looked at is the performance in terms of SWR and in beam width, and it's outstanding. No surprises. And we'll see if we can verify that when we put up the antenna in the next couple days. Well, that's quite some performance for this antenna. It has one of the smoothest patterns I've ever seen without lots of little bumps and things kicking out. Has an excellent front to back ratio, excellent gain for a 2-element beam. Very novel design put together by G3, let's see, it was TXQ, and very nicely done. Now MFJ has added 6 meters to this design. It was not in the original G3TXQ design, and I think we'll find that it's just a great antenna. I've got great expectations for this antenna as soon as I get it up. I have to fabricate the workaround piece, put it in there, get some friends this time to help me put it up. Plus I've done some workarounds on the antenna mast that I've shown you. So should be a good thing. Next video I hope to report to you on how well it went, and we'll look at the Hex Beam on the air. Until then, please check out subscribing and liking the video. Please check out dcastler.com/support for ways you can help make this a viewer-supported channel. Also, there's the amateur extra videos for sale if you would like to get those on a thumb drive. A little easier sometimes than having to be tethered to the internet when you study those. Until we next meet, 73.